I'm Pro!
And I'm New!
And here's Hollow with the news! That was really bad. You think that's gonna... I don't... Oh, no, it's leaving. It's going.
Oh, no.
No, you do it!
Thanks, guys. Hello, my name is Hollow, and I have just returned to Monster Hunter to finally check out Iceborne. And as you can see, turns out I might be the true noob of the channel suddenly. But that's only until Rise comes out, and I destroy both Rage and Cotton with my longsword, the best weapon in the game. That's right, Cotton, I saw what you said.
Here you see the longsword in its natural environment, trying to look cool.
Is it working?
No.
Frankly, I'm betrayed, and my anime society will hear of this. So that aside, it's time for me to finally talk about Rise and Monster Hunter on the channel last. I've been waiting for some real Rise news ever since the special look we had at the Greatsword gameplay that Josh lost his mind over and had to make his own video about despite having the literal plague.
We even get added aerial mobility from springing into the air and then diving in a direction and unleashing the aerial attack.
Frankly, you gotta give Josh credit. Nothing can stop him from talking about great swords. Anyway, that showcase video feels like ages ago to me now, since I was hoping to see similar videos for other weapons in the game. However, what we have had over like the last 3 weeks since that showcase were drip-fed little details, clips, videos showing new features in Rise, or going a little deeper on some of the things we had small looks at already. I felt like none of these clips on their own were worthy of, say, a video, but now we have a whole pile of them, we can talk about some of my favorite ones. Let's get started then. We're going to begin with a couple major ones, the Hunter combat and the monster combat details. As we know, thanks to the wirebugs, we're going to have some sick mobility with even the heavy weapons like Greatsword, with a sort of fantastic aerial style and ability coming back in this new game. But the wirebugs are obviously going to be used for more than that, it seems, with unique attacks that we could actually compare to the old weapon arts of the previous games. The little video clip here showing the sword and shield wirebug attack, which has some serious frames of damage, dealing damage to enemies behind the hunter as well as in front of him, all using the wirebug to basically swing the sword around. It's great. I'm looking forward to seeing what else we can do with unique moves using the wirebug for attacks. But the director for Rise has randomly tweeted out this really good news. The hunting horn users will finally be able to draw attack with a starting note of their choice. Rather than having to use the standard draw attack note every time, we can now open up and play instantly whatever song you want from the unsheath, rather than being forced into one type because of the draw attack, or obviously waiting out that move and then starting the song you want. It's such a simple change, but it's something that you probably will never want to live without in the future games. This is undeniably a major quality of life for hunting horn players, so I'm happy to hear that. Next though, the 3 clips we're going to go into a bit of detail for monsters are all about Aknosom, Tetranadon, and Izuchi. Obviously, we've seen a little gameplay of these monsters from the trailers, or even a full stage encounter with, say, Aknosom, but it's really nice to get a bit of information about the mechanics instead. So with Aknosom, we have a highlight of its unique and kind of peculiar movement, where they expect it'll catch you off guard. This sporadic fire breather is very elegant with these attacks and movement, where it stands on one leg and then spins around like a ballerina, hopping about and then spinning for those wide range attacks. It's nice to look at. Something like this makes me appreciate what will be most likely an earlier monster a lot more. Similar to that, we get another look at the big boy himself, the lovable Chunk, coming with his own unique command grab. That's right, he literally hugs and squeezes you, and honestly, I'm thankful. You might confuse his wind up for a roar and then go in for some damage, but the reality is he's preparing to grab and then smash you, which will wombo combo you into his big belly slam. I'm gonna let this happen. I want to hug him. Jokes aside though, he does actually have surprising speed when he does that dash to grab you, so you definitely need to get the hell out of his way when he does this. Lastly, some appreciation for the squad fighters, Izuchi and its pack, where they fight with some very cool synchronized attacks. I love this combat design. There's like a rhythm to it. And as we see, it's going to clean out your stamina if you take this all with a block. And they look like they function as a unit with one brain spinning and flipping around. Something I really appreciated in World after going back to the older games was how they made the monsters feel a bit more real and functional with a brain rather rather than mechanical, you know? And it seems like they're going further down that route in Rise 2. Now, let's move on to something awesome, a quick little armor showcase. We have 3 sets to look at, starting with the Aknosom armor set. It looks great, perfectly fitting with the monster itself, and gives us a bit of elegance with what looks like almost a royal guard's armor. In the clip, we also see its jewel blades, which look like swords, by the way, and then the insect glaive, which is a bit chunky on the end compared to the swords. It's not pointy, is it? My favorite part is the Palamute armor, though. Look at the royal steed himself, with a bit of a bird-like look thanks to the helmet, giving it a sort of beak. And then, of course, the Squire Palico. What a pleb. Next, though, the Tetranadon set is chunky, just like the big boy himself. These heavy, rounded plates give you an almost turtle-like look, and I've seen comparisons to Doom's Doom guy, actually, which is not a bad comparison. He's holding a heavy bowgun, coming with its own armored plates. And then we have the simple green greatsword on the female hunter, too. Hang on a second, look at the female hunter. Where are her pants? Someone get this lady some pants. I've seen a lot of salty comments about this on the official Twitter post, and I kind of can't blame them. This is some super chunky armor, you know, big boy heavy plate, and then randomly the chick just has nothing in the middle. It's a bit silly. But anyway, the good boy Palamute looks like an explorer in this set, with those shell plates on each limb for some added protection. Adorable. And then there's the Palico, looking less impressive. This guy looks like he's about to play some Splatoon. Oh man, can you tell I'm Palamute biased, by the way? Finally, the Chimera armor, which has been shown in lots of the trailers and is the sort of poster set for the title. But it is nice to take a better look at the details on both genders. It's the main starting set for the game, and it honestly looks wonderful. I'm a Blue Boy fan myself, and I would happily wear this set in World if I could. Moving on though, we finally had a look at the customization coming in Rise. Naturally, just like the previous Monster Hunters, we can customize our hunter and also the Palico to however we want to look. Different patterns, hairstyles, skin tones, and so on. When we have a look at all the settings and the options with them, there is a lot to choose between here, and it's really nice to see that. The Palicos have like 5 or 6 options for everything that we saw, and we know what to expect from that with World again. Where this really shines though is the new Palamute customization. We can change their coat to have different fur patterns, colors, even individual parts of the coat. The colors are much more free now too, as they show different possible colors like neon and such. This is just like World in that we have a lot of color presets, but we have the hue bar to manage and then achieve any color you want through that. We also get options like different expressions, ears, tail options, and even different scarves for clothing too. And if you didn't know, in Rise you can actually choose to have 2 Palicos or 2 Palamutes if you want. You don't have to have one and both. As we move on though, we did get a little cute clip of Escargot, the healing snail who will be helping us out on our hunts now. If you don't know, Monster Hunter Rise features way more endemic life to actively help us in the hunts. You might know the Wiggly Lich-Eye from World, right, which would give you temporary stamina buffs. They're going way harder on that in Rise. You can find bugs in bushes if you destroy them, or wirebugs around the terrain for a temporary extra wirebug during that hunt. Now we're seeing cuties like Escargot, and we now know their official term thanks to the Twitter post. Officially dubbed hunting helpers. Hell yeah. Finally, the next weapon showcase has been talked about. It's been almost 3 weeks since that greatsword showcase, and I demand a new one. We know this was coming thanks to Soxy Bear, the community manager for Capcom UK. He's actually the guy who did the voiceover for the English greatsword video, and he did a really good job with that actually. He tweeted out that they're thinking of the next gameplay video, asking which weapon would we like to see next. We did a vote via 3 posts, and the winners of each were Hunting Horn, Charge Blade, and the bow. So it seems like those will be the weapons we see next. Rage told me they did a video for each weapon during World and Iceborne, you know, before they released. So maybe we can expect a video like that for every weapon before release. That'd be great. So obviously those are the 3 weapons that had the most votes, but what weapon would you have voted for? You should definitely follow Soxy Bears on Twitter actually, in case he does more of that in the future. But personally, I'm a longsword main, and I've already been spoiled for gameplay on that, so I guess I'd go for the Charge Blade next. But there you have it. As you can see from all of that, it's a lot of little details of various size, and I figured you guys would get why I waited to have lots to talk about and show, rather than make a video about any one of these things. I hope this video came out okay. Let me know if this was useful or interesting, so I know if I should make more like this in the future. It's been really great to finally make my first Monster Hunter video at last, and I hope you're as excited for Rise as I am. It really really does feel like the combination of world and that older style brought into a much better harmony than feeling like totally separate from one another. If you are interested, I just finished my Iceborne story journey and I loved it. It is really good to be back in the series again, and I'm planning on streaming more of everything that was added after the expansion launch, so come say hi sometime. Until next time though, I've been Hollow, you've been you, thanks for watching.